STEM is science, technology, engineering and maths. And the study of those subjects is seen to be terribly important for the future of this country.
So STEM is really just art for me. It's a way of life, right? As a scientist, I am constantly engaged in science and technology and mathematics, and a little bit in engineering.
Science, technology, engineering and maths, these are really exciting subjects because you're answering the big questions. Where does the universe come from? Where do humanities come from? What's the future of the planet? How can we solve problems like climate change? The answers to all of those challenges will come from people who study STEM.
I think they're actually one of the most important aspects of an education because they are the way that we understand the world and the way that we make things better. So, science in particular, that's a fantastic way of understanding how the world works and how what might happen if we change it and how we achieve that. And of course, science is underpinned by technology, engineering and mathematics.
And actually, it's not just about building practical solutions to problems, but sometimes amazing stuff can come out of studying arcane subjects. Studying complex mathematical theory can create interesting opportunities that can potentially create new industries in the future.
Our entire economy is dependent on innovations in the past, and to maintain our position in the world or to extend it, we're going to have to invent new things. We're going to invent new ways of doing things. We're going to have to build that technology in. And so we need to be a smart nation, and we need to use technology and science sensibly.
Communicating science is a really important thing for scientists to do. Very often in the past, scientists would sit away in their universities in their so-called ivory towers and think they deserved a living from society. Well, my view is that we've got to bring society along and explain why studying science is terribly important.
Particularly in my science, genetics, we do things which actually will affect lots and lots of people. So the way that we look at people's genetics, the way that we look at the genetics of organisms in the environment, the way we can use genetics to understand what's happening to our environment, these are all topics that are of immense interest to the general public. And so we have to engage with the general public to reassure them that we're doing sensible things, but also to show them that actually our subjects are going to have an impact on their lives and that the extent of that impact really depends on them.
And through that discussion comes better understanding, not just of the stuff that I know that I'm sharing with you, but I learn from understanding your perspective. And that mutual discussion, I think, is a terribly powerful part of effective science communication.
We know that science is changing in the rest of the world, and that change needs to be interpreted for New Zealand, and we need to understand what we can bring into New Zealand, what we can use effectively, and what we can avoid using. And the decisions about the use or non-use of technologies are really the public's decisions. They're not my decisions as a scientist.
So from my perspective, we've got to have a science literate society. We've got to have a citizenry out there who know about science, who support science, and understand the value of science. And by that I mean science, technology, engineering and maths. And that's why communicating science and communicating it well is terribly important as well.